Duke batting in the top of the first, which I don't think.
Third base if you're the home team, so made the switch and strike one.
UCLA, where she spent 4 years.
Yeah, Henderson trying to work away, goes inside, might have crossed the plate, but anytime you cross up your catcher like that, typically you're not going to get that call, but Henderson does there. 2-1 is the count.
(2-1). Ulu sprays it foul left field. It was all about the Coastal Carolina offense in the elimination game earlier today against Howard. They put up 9 runs, including a walk-off grand slam from McKenna Metzger. There's Georgia Hood. She also had a 2-run home run. She's homered in each of the 2 days of this Durham Regional. Ulu with a chopper to second. Roos flips to first, 1 away.
Yeah, and early in that ball game that just occurred against Howard for this Coastal team, it was back and forth, and then Coastal took the reins and really held the momentum, and then it was the McKenna Metzger grand slam, which you mentioned, that closed that one out. And so momentum, if I'm reading it, is in the Sean's dugout because Duke's been sitting around for a few hours after their tough loss to Georgia earlier today.
Chanticleer scored 5 runs in that 5th inning to make it a 9-1 run rule victory over Howard. Jumped out to a 3-0 lead yesterday in the first inning against Georgia, but the offense got shut down the rest of the way. Amina Vega fouls that off of herself.
Yeah, and I think when you look at Amina Vega and you look at the numbers, that tells the story. Has had an incredible year, another All-American year, but so far has been kept off the base path, and that's been huge. I mean, she's been hit by a pitch twice in that first game against Howard, but now they need her to step up if they're going to make a run in this regional.
That first team All-American season last year where she hit .369, her batting average has taken a giant leap forward, .422 this year. Another All-American season written all over her.
Yeah, and she's done it, and what she describes with patience, relaxation, confidence, and confidence in what she knows the strike zone to be. That one, very close. Henderson doesn't get the call. 3-2 the count goes, but for Amina Vega, that's what's so impressive. We talked to her about this on Thursday. You have success your freshman year, you have even more success your sophomore year. How do you continue to elevate, evolve? And she's done it masterfully. It's very hard to do that when pitching staffs circle your name, but Amina Vega has put in the time. She is a professional hitter for this Duke team.
Vega lifts it in the air, again out of play as she continues to battle a 3-2 count. And Marissa Young, her head coach, said she's had such an incredible amount of growth, most specifically mentally. She said as good as she was last year, like talent-wise, she's fine. It's not like she needs to take a step really in terms of talent, but making sure her game was there mentally was the biggest thing in this offseason. She belts it straight away center field, and Amina Vega goes yard to give Duke an early lead.
Well, we knew it was going to be hard to keep Amina Vega off the base path for long. This is an off speed that's just center cut. And when you miss down the middle to the All-American, she's going to make you pay. She does that there. 235 feet, hand in the air. And for Duke, that is a great sign for your regional potential. All it takes is one to get the rhythm back. And for Duke, they're hoping Amina Vega's swing there does just that.
Vega's 12th home run of the season is her first hit of the regional after going hitless in the first 2. But here in an elimination game, she allows Duke to jump out to an early lead. With Anna Gold immediately following her in the lineup, a 2-home run day yesterday against Howard. But Georgia pitching today kept her in check.
Yeah, and it looked like Anna Gold really expanded the zone and started attacking pitches on the outside edge. And against a really elite team, you have to do that at some point. but I think she expanded just a little bit too much, got herself out, and that's usually the case with a hitter like Anna Gold, is you can't get her out if you go across the plate. She's gonna make you pay. And so you have to force her to expand and get herself out. And so right now, Anna Gold proving to have a better eye than earlier today.
Watches that one fly by as well to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And one last thing I'll note too is for these pitching staffs, they are circling Anna Gold's name. They are taking 10, 20 minutes to figure out exactly how they want to pitch her. And so it is a tall task for Anna Gold in the box.
She ropes that foul to the third base dugout, stays 2-2. And that's nothing new. For opposing coaches, they always have Anna Gold's name circled, and it's been that way for 3 years now.
Yeah, I mean, you go through her career, she's always had power. She's always been consistent for this team. She's always been in the heart of the order. And so it's nothing new. And now you have data from all 4 years to inform you on how to pitch to her.
She drills it, but right to the shortstop in Normandin for the second out of the inning.
A nice job by Henderson there to continue to attack the zone after the home run to Amina Vega. And for Anna Gold, that's a great swing. Doesn't show up in the stats, but a lot of these teams now just track quality at bats. That's a hard hit ball, that's a quality at bat. And that's 2 really good at bats from 2 people you need to have good at bats if you're Duke.
Those 2 have led the charge all year long for Duke. Blue Devils have taken an early 1-0 lead against Abby Henderson and Coastal Carolina, with both teams' season on the line. Kyrie Rodriguez lifts it high in the air right field. Livy Payne camps out underneath it, and that ends the inning, but not before the All-American Amina Vega gives Duke the lead.
Could not keep her quiet for long.
The Hood in the 3 spot. McKenna Metzger had a walk-off grand slam just a little over a half hour ago against Howard in the elimination game. Duke already out to a 1-0 lead after an Amina Vega solo home run in the top of the first. And the first pitch today from Cassidy Kurt is out of the zone to Libby Pippin, the leadoff hitter for Coastal Carolina. Libby Pippin is such a cool story too. Came in this program as a walk-on. Kelly Green, the head coach, said I had a discussion with her family, and I said, listen, if you're okay coming here as a walk-on who's primarily just going to be a pinch runner, then yes, we'll take you, but that's probably what your role's going to be. She cuts right through that one and makes it 1-2, and here we are a couple years later, Rain, and she's a stud in the outfield and left field for them, and also the leadoff hitter for this Coastal Carolina team. Yeah,
the leadoff hitter and also a leader for this ball club. Knows the game incredibly well, is so patient, so poised at the top of this lineup. She's exactly who you want to set the table for your big bats. And then, I like to ask this question to the coaches. If all the coaches were ejected and you're walking off the field and you have to hand your lineup card to one player to manage to sub in, sub out, head coach Kelly Green chose Libby Pippin. She said she's got the right demeanor, she's got the poise for it, and I think that speaks volumes to who she is.
Fouls off the 1-2. Yeah, coach said she's a coach's kid. She's got a high IQ. She knows the game, is really smart in terms of that, and is also just a tireless worker to put herself in a position where she went from, we brought her in to be a pinch runner, to now one of the best players in a lineup that has gone to a regional. Here comes the 1-2. Pippin cannot hold the swing. She strikes out. Good start to the day for Cassidy Kurd.
Yeah, Cassidy Kurd doing it with her best stuff. Elite movement up in the zone. Attack early, fill up the zone, and then expand with a nasty rise ball there. Libby Pippin unable to hold the barrel back. 145 strikeouts for Cassidy Kurd, second in the ACC.
Blows that one right past Delaney Keith, the third baseman for Coastal Carolina, who's got a 9-game hit streak going.
Yeah, one thing to keep an eye on is Cassidy Kurd is at her best when she gets swing and misses. When you start to see swing and miss after swing and miss, against these offenses, you know the stuff is working, and Cassidy Curd has command of it. As you start to see foul balls and more barrels, that's when you know offenses are timing her up a little bit better.
6 strikeouts yesterday in the complete game win over Howard to open up the regional for Cassidy Curd. The 1-2. That's high and tight to Delaney Keith, the former Idaho Gatorade Player of the Year back in 2022 when she hit .670 with 19 home runs as a senior.
Whoa.
That'll play. Low and inside.
Yeah, that was one, too, where we saw in the first that it crossed up Coastal. This one crossed up Duke, but that's, to me, that's down the middle. Yeah. And that's a pitch, if I'm Kyrie Rodriguez, it's difficult to do, but that's a pitch you got to frame up a little bit. I mean, not a choice that the umpire can make, especially when the catcher yanks it. Doesn't make a difference, though.
Cassidy Curd with 2 strikeouts to open up this first inning. Maybe a pitch later than she would have liked, but either way, it goes down as a strikeout.
And again, it's the elite movement, lefty on lefty. And right now, the Chance hitters have big eyes for the pitches up in the zone, which normally they can get their barrel out in front of, but with the speed and velocity from the junior Curd, difficult to do.
She's so good at changing the eye level because the pitch before the strikeout range, she goes low in the zone, and then she immediately comes back with that rise ball that's up above the chest.
Absolutely. And she's also added in a drop ball. And so teams, what you can do if, as an offense, if you have one plane that you're really attacking and a pitch, or excuse me, a pitcher that really attacks that one plane, strike 2 is called there on Georgia Hood, you can pre-stack, right? You can anticipate that it's going to be up in the zone. But the moment that Curd shows that drop ball, now you have to defend against both of those planes. And that is really difficult to do, especially against 70 miles per hour.
This is the 0-2. Swing and a miss from Hood. Winner moves on to the regional final tomorrow to face Georgia at 2:30. First pitch swinging. That is KK Mathis. Rolls it foul.
Yeah, I know we're early in this one, but Duke's offense has looked solid. Put really good swings on balls, and it hasn't, you know, come up with a ton of hits outside of the Amina Vega home run, but hard hit balls, not only in the infield, but deep fly balls to the outfield. So good sign if you're Duke so far.
You've got one of the hottest bats in your lineup at the plate, too, with KK Mathis on a 9-game hit streak. Also has hits in 17 of the last 18 games, bumping that average all the way up to 340. Chops it over to second. This is Roos flipping it over to first.
It's a great job by the sophomore Abby Henderson to get ahead early, use the drop on the outside half, a pitch that KK Mathis can't do a ton of damage with, and you know Abby Henderson is on when she induces those ground balls. And this infield, this defense for Coastal has been one of the phases of the game that we haven't talked about a bunch, but they have been really solid all year long.
First pitch strike into Amaya Burgess. An infield that has not made many mistakes over the course of the season. An RBI in each of the first 2 games of this regional for Amaya Burgess. Sac fly yesterday, RBI single against Georgia earlier today.
Yeah, the sophomore has one of the best plate awareness skills I've seen across the board in this regional. So patient, sees a ton of pitches, gets her swing off on a pitch that she's hunting. It's really impressive in such a young player.
Right back up the middle, ricochets off Henderson, and Normanden's there to make the play. We call that a 1-6-3 single out.
Abby Henderson executes a great pitch off the outside edge and helps out Bree Normandin by slowing this one down. Normandin has been so solid at shortstop for the Chants team all year long, but specifically in this regional has played a huge role.
2 quick outs to begin this second inning, and a laser foul from Jada Baker. Making Marissa Young, her head coach, duck out of the way. She's got a smile afterwards. She said, hey, hit it that hard, but hit it straight this time. Does the same thing. Rips it foul.
And for Henderson, that's perfect. You know, keep feeding arm side in, let the batters spin around it, foul it off, and it works the same as 2 swing and misses. 0-2, now you can expand the zone, you can go back in, or you can go off speed away in the dirt.
Just misses a strikeout there. A little bit outside from Henderson, 1-2.
It's a great pitch though, off speed away, and now you've slowed her down on the outside edge, so she has to attack that, she has to defend that, and the hard in. Really tough to do.
Burgess loops it in the air, center field, and Hudgens there to make the grab. A nice bounce back one. Kirsten Roos bloops it into right field, and a diving play by Aaliyah Terrell. Points to her pitcher, says, I got you. 1 quick out.
Kirsten Roos has so much power that this Duke outfield was playing pretty deep, but a great jump by Aaliyah Terrell, diving, extending towards her second baseman, Amina Vega. Says, mine, mine, mine. And Aaliyah Terrell's it was. What a play by the junior out and right.
We have seen some incredible diving plays by outfielders from all 4 teams here at the Durham Regional this weekend.
And that's a big one too, because Kirsten Roos is a great base runner, one of the best base stealers that this Chanticleers team has. And so when she gets on, there's a good chance she'll take advantage of the extra 60 feet to get to second. And so that's a big out in many ways for this Duke defense.
So instead of a runner on and nobody out, the diving play from Terrell keeps the bases empty. 1 retired here in the second innings with Maddie Jennings at the plate. The 0-2 is upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jennings fouls it straight back. She stays alive at 1-2. Coastal Carolina, the Sun Belt champions after winning 4 games in 4 days. The Sun Belt tournament as the 7th seed, by the way. Defeated James Madison by a run in the championship. You and I believe that they had a resume to get an at-large, but they did not leave it to the committee. They went out and took care of business in the Sun Belt tournament. As Maddie Jennings whiffs through that pitch, and it's already 4 strikeouts for Cassidy Curd.
Yeah, and the Chanticleers did it with the offense, but the offense has been quiet so far because of Cassidy Curd. Elite movement now on both sides of the plate, up in the zone, and right now, the Chanticleers offense cannot catch up, but if you're the Chants, you have the exact woman you want up to the plate. McKenna Mexter, the freshman, whose last time up hit a grand salami.
Yeah, quite the impact. A walk-off grand slam, run rule fashion. In the elimination game earlier today against Howard, the team was up 5-1. The grand slam made it 9-1 in the 5th to win it. In fact, here it is.
Yeah, and the freshman has been impressive in so many ways, but the plate discipline and then the execution when she got the pitch she wanted. The 2 at-bats before had been both walks, so hadn't seen a ton of strikes, but when they gave her one, boy, did she turn it around and change the game for this Coastal team.
Slashes that one foul, it's 1-2. Has made such a huge impact for this Coastal Carolina team all season as a freshman, but specifically in postseason play. She drove in 5 runs at the Sun Belt tournament, had 1 yesterday, and then the grand slam earlier today against Howard. Just missed.
And when we talked to her in the post-game interview, You know, she said, oh, I hadn't seen a ton of strikes. Well, I mean, she takes pitches like that. She's got a great awareness of the plate. She says, I'm looking for a pitch that's platey. I love that word. I'm going to steal that. But, I mean, the freshman swings it like a veteran in the box.
Reaches after that one on a line and just out of the reach of the diving Jada Baker, who made the move to first base mid-season this year after Florida took down Duke in rather dominant fashion. Marissa Young said we need to make some changes. They moved Baker from short to first, shifted up the infield a little bit, and it's been one of the best decisions they've made all year.
Yeah, and part of that shift was Anna Gold, who's played third base her entire college career, moved over to shortstop. And now what we've seen since then is the range, the arm strength. She can make the incredible plays. And the fact that you can move your shortstop is playing first base, just gives you so much depth on the infield. And you've seen it in how they've produced incredible plays all year long.
2-2 is fouled off, and then the end of that was moving Tessa Malau-Ulu over to third base, and all she managed to do is become the ACC Defensive Player of the Year this year at third.
Yeah, exactly. And how about that? I mean, we talked about Anna Gold at short, how good she's been, Jada Baker, but the move from Tessa from first base to third, I mean, has opened the eyes of the college softball world to how good she is at the hot corner.
Metzger with a great fight here, battles off another two-strike pitch from Cassidy Curd.
And the thing I love about McKenna Metzger is her ability to adjust pitch to pitch. And there we see, I mean, no errors from Malau-Ulu. And against teams like this, batters like this, you can't give them opportunities. McKenna Metzger sees pitches well, and this has been the best at-bat so far from the Chanticleers.
The 9th pitch of the at-bat here from Cassidy Curd into Metzger, and we will see a 10th. She just does not look like a freshman whatsoever in the box. Calm, cool, composed, such a good appearance in the plate.
Yeah, and average hitters adjust game to game. Good hitters adjust at-bat to at-bat. Elite hitters adjust pitch to pitch. And McKenna Metzger, it's been clear in this at-bat, she is adjusted, and she is finding her timing.
Pitch number 10 of the at-bat. And Metzger laces it deep to center field. Her second home run of the day has tied this game at 1. A walk-off grand slam in an elimination game against Howard earlier today. She homers against Duke, and this game is all knotted up at 1.
Do not forget this name. McKenna Metzger, the freshman, swings it like a veteran All-American. 10 pitches in the AB, gets the one she wants in the end. Elevated pitch up in the zone, finds her timing, gets her barrel out, and it's a big boom from the freshman.
She gets 5 big booms.
I want to know the backstory with that immediately.
The Costco guys? You
What?
never heard of them?
No.
Oh, I live on TikTok too much, apparently.
Oh, the boom. I was talking about the wig.
Normandin softball side, day 2 of the Durham Regional, 1-1 between Duke and Coastal Carolina. Aaliyah Terrell lays down a bunt and a fantastic play from Delaney Keith, the third baseman, to make the throw over.
Now for Delaney Keith, the catch and throw was stellar, but it's the pre-pitch, reading the feet of Aaliyah Terrell and crashing. Look how quickly Delaney Keith gets to this ball. Gets rid of it as she gains ground to first base. Kirsten Roos does a great job sticking with this play too. See it in, make a good throw, trust your second baseman Roos. Nice job.
First pitch swinging, Deanna Jennings flares one into center field for a base hit, and the speed allows her to take second, even on the slightest bobble in center field by Hudgens.
Yeah, and that's what speed will do to you. It'll put pressure. Hudgens, the rest of this outfield knows that if they bobble a ball, Deanna Jennings is going to take advantage. Does a great job moving her feet, gets a pitch elevated there on the outer half of the plate, and then it's just one bobble. As Hudgens goes to transfer, that's all it takes for Jennings to take advantage of the extra 60 feet.
She does her job to flip it over to the top of the lineup. And we talked about it earlier today when Duke was playing Georgia, but Deanna Jennings is phenomenal in that 9-hole spot. She knows exactly what her job is, get on base, and then allow the top of the order to bring her home.
Yeah, and essentially when she gets to that, when we get to that 9-hole, watching this team, she is a leadoff.
Ripped into left field. Malau Ulu thought about taking second. Now she's caught in a rundown, and she's going to get second because Hood had to peek over to third where Jennings was, and Duke's got 2 in scoring position.
Yeah, and this is just good instincts. This is good base running from both sides of the ball. Of course, a well-executed hit by Malau Ulu, the senior, but induces the throw. She gets caught up, but she understands now on the other side of that play, Deanna Jennings gets off and draws the eyes of Georgia Hood, and that's all it takes. One moment off of Tessa Malau Ulu, and she takes second base and now sets up the home run hitter.
Tessa Malau Ulu extends her on-base streak to 24 games, bringing up Amina Vega, who's responsible for Duke's lone run today on a solo home run in the first. A first-team All-American from a season ago, and all she's done is become more productive this season. She got one over the heart of the plate, Rain, and made him pay. Yeah,
and it was an off-speed pitch, too. And so now for Abby Henderson, got to be a little bit cautious with that off-speed over the middle of the plate. Got to be cautious with anything, though.
Amina Vega skies it into left field, foul territory. It's caught by Pippin. The throw home, not in time to get the runner tagging. Now Malau Ulu comes home, and she gets in underneath the tag. Duke scores 2 to make it a 3-1 lead.
And again, it's the aggressive base running. Deanna Jennings with the wheels. Sack fly. The throw takes Maddie Jennings up the line. It not only gets by Jennings as she goes to make the play, but it gets by as well. And Abby Henderson gives it up to her catcher, but it's the diving headfirst slide. A great look from our crew here in Durham. And Duke takes advantage. And one note there about Deanna Jennings coming from third base, the key when there is a ball, sack fly down the line, is to run in the path of the ball. Because then, like there we saw, it's hard to make that play as the catcher.
Anna Gold with a laser right back to the pitcher, and Henderson to record the third out. But Duke with some aggressive base running scores 2 in the inning to take a 3. When talking about getting to live out her dream of playing pro softball, I thought was so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, we talked about this too. When the Duke players came in to talk to us, they were very stoic, very businesslike. And then, to your point, the moment we brought up the Anna Golden ticket, beaming with joy and really excited to watch her play.
Libby Payne grounds out to third. Malau Ulu, the ACC Defensive Player of the Year, makes the play, and there's one quick out in the third.
Next up, center fielder number 2, Clara Hudgens.
Libby Payne with a quick word for Clara Hudgens, who comes up right after her. The 9-hole hitter here for Coastal Carolina, the first time that she faces Cassidy Curd today, who's allowed just 1 hit so far. It was a home run for McKenna Metzger last inning. The 0-1. Duke fans wanted the call. They don't get it.
Yeah, I think the Duke fans wanted it. I also think Cassie Curd wanted it, and I don't blame her. This is a nice pitch up and in. I think it might be a hair in and a hair up, but a really good pitcher's pitch and one that you can work off of if you're Cassie Curd.
She gets the swing and a miss this time from Hudgens, who's behind 1-2. 4 strikeouts already today for Cassidy Curd. Can make it a 5th here, her first time through the lineup for Coastal Carolina. Popped up, shallow, left side on a goal. The shortstop calls off the left fielder. Burgess for the second out. Tonight, the All-ACC team will have all the highlights and analysis from the softball regionals, the men's lacrosse championship quarterfinals, and the final day of the ACC baseball regular season. Coverage begins right after our game right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Such a fun time of year with the postseason either underway or just about to start in every sport across the way. We started the day today with 64 teams remaining. By the end of the day, we'll be down to 32. And by the end of tomorrow, we will be down to 16 teams who have punched a ticket to the Super Regionals.
Yeah, and you said it, Noah, just best time of the year, because on a Tuesday night, probably have a midweek game. Wednesday night, guarantee there's at least one. Thursday is when SEC baseball has started having their night one games. And then, of course, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, softball and baseball galore. Now that we're at the top of this Coastal order again, I think the biggest thing you have to circle is how is Coastal going to adjust their second time through? And on the other side of things, how is Cassidy Curd going to adjust the second time through? That will have a huge impact late in this game.
4-pitch walk. That is quite the difference from the first time Curd faced Pippin when she struck her out.
Yeah, and I think that's why you see head coach Marissa Young coming out to talk to her pitcher. Uncharacteristic 4-pitch walk, especially with how Cassidy Curd has been dealing so far. And now it's a conversation about what's coming, because Delaney Keith, although she struck out in the first, is a batter that adjusts incredibly well. And you look at the strikes and the balls and the pitch count for Cassidy Curd, she's filling up the zone, and that is a great sign if you're Marissa Young. But Delaney Keith, and watching her throughout the season, throughout this regional, it's hard to beat her once. It's even harder to beat her twice. Look for her to try to get on top of the ball, at least have that approach. And she has the ability to send a ball 250 feet as well.
She extended her hit streak to 9 games in the elimination game right before this. Takes a pitch low. That's 5 in a row out of the zone for Cassidy Curd, who had only thrown 8 pitches out of the zone the entire day until that point. That's a strike inside corner, evens the count at 1 apiece. Swing and a miss. Chance for Curd to get out of this inning, stranding a runner at first. The 1-2. Pop straight back. Delaney Keith with some nice fight here to extend the at-bat.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. And you can hear the Coastal fans. They are rowdy, and I think right now they might be even up or even outnumber the Duke fans here in Durham. Myrtle Beach, where Coastal Carolina is, only a couple hours away, and they've shown up today. And that's another pitch that Cassie Curd was trying to go away with, but ends up not too far off the plate on the inner half. I'd like to see Kyrie Rodriguez set up middle, knowing Cassie Curd is missing, and try to frame up those pitches. She might get a call.
Delaney Keith powers it to right field, and she has just tied this game with Duke. Delaney Keith's 20th home run of the season makes it a 3-3 game.
Cannot keep her quiet for long. Adjust, 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 pitch to pitch. That's what Delaney Keith does. Gets the foot down, turns the barrel, and then lets the bat speed do what it has done all year. The exit velo in the upper 70s, that ball traveled very, very far. We are tied in Durham.
Oh, did she do it again? Georgia Hood's third home run of the regional puts Coastal Carolina in front. Delaney Keith and Georgia Hood go back-to-back, and just like that, the Chanticleers are in front of Duke in an elimination game in the regional.
And the biggest question mark was, how is this offense going to adjust the second time through? I'd say they found their timing. Keith, so excited. Let me get back out onto the field. Georgia Hood, her third bomb of the regional. This one, the biggest so far. Coastal takes the 4-3 lead in the bottom of the third.
The top three hitters in Coastal's lineup in the first inning went strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. Before they came up a second time, you talked about adjustments. Those three went walk, home run, home run. Roos able to hold off 2-0.
Yeah, they found their timing. And when you look at this Coastal team against Georgia yesterday, what gave them fits was the off-speed from Lily Backus. Cassidy Kerr doesn't really have an off-speed pitch. She doesn't have a changeup. And so now that Coastal has found the timing with the fastball, they are looking really confident. And, you know, it doesn't get easier. Now you got Kirsten Roos, Maddie Jennings right behind her. Of course, McKenna Metzger, who homered her first time up. Saw 10+ pitches, which might well as be 2 at-bats. Momentum in the Chants dugout.
We are only in the third inning. Coastal Carolina has hit 3 home runs. It's the 13th time this season they've had at least 3 home runs in a game. 92 on the season as a team, the all-time record for most home runs in a single season by a Coastal Carolina team. Kirsten Roos rips it down the left field line, and it's fair. She's thinking 2. It's a stand-up double, the 3rd straight extra base hit for Coastal Carolina.
And again, this team being on time for the fastball. That one, a rise ball up in the zone that Roos gets her barrel out on. And why, you might think, can they barrel after barrel after barrel pitches? It is because they're not thinking about the off-speed at the back of their mind. The timing is not disrupted. They have gotten the timing down, when to put their foot down, when to get their barrel out. They know the movement's coming up at the zone. So it's hitting it not necessarily where you see it, but where it will go. And the Chants have done just that as we see a pitching change coming for the Duke Blue Devils.
Cassidy Kerr was so good the first time through the lineup. 4 strikeouts, allowed just 1 hit. But she faced the top 4 batters a second time. They went walk, home run, double. And Marissa Young has the ball in her hand, waiting for Danny Drugmuller to walk out.
Now pitching for Duke, number 16, Danny Drugmuller.
Don't miss a minute of the action from the NCAA Softball Regionals. We'll take you to the best live action on the 7 Innings live show on the ESPN app. You can see every game and every big moment on the road to the Women's College World Series only on the ESPN networks. Cassidy Kerr was so good yesterday in a complete game win over Howard. She came out very effective through the first 2 innings, but in this 3rd inning, Kelly Green's team has already struck for 3. She comes out of the game with Danny Drugmuller coming in. Drugmuller, who pitched this morning, or this afternoon, I guess. Feels like this morning. It's been a long day against Georgia.
Yeah, and you know, I think you make this move at this moment because your offense has been good for Duke. You know you can score, and you got to keep the leash kind of short. And for Cassie Curd right now, I think you look at that success in the first couple of innings and you attribute it to the fact not only is she moving the ball really well up in the zone, throwing heat, but she's not missing over the middle. This half inning, she's missed over the middle, and with an elite team and an elite part of the lineup, they're gonna make you pay. All of these runs with 2 outs especially. And so they're gonna need Cassie Curd, and it's good that, you know, she can smile, but I know she's a competitor. This hurts. These moments don't feel good, but the presence and the poise to still have a smile and support Danny Drugmuller from the dugout, that's what you need from a leader for this Duke team. But for Danny Drugmuller, it is get and out, get your team in the dugout, because the offense has played well so far for Duke.
It's a good point. 3 runs through the first 3 innings for the Duke offense. Coastal Carolina had been held in check up until, quite frankly, the last 3 batters. And those 2, 3, 4 hitters that we just saw go home run, double, now have more than 100 extra base hits on the season, and they've driven in nearly half of the team's runs.
Yeah, I'd say they're important. But yeah, and it's done in moments like this where the first time through they look outmatched and you think, oh my goodness, well, I don't know how they're going to find their timing against Cassie Curd, but then the second time through, they make adjustments. They're not really beaten down by much. You know, I think a lot of teams, you strike out your 3 best hitters, 1, 2, 3 in the first inning, you can get back on your heels. It has not felt like that at all for the Chanticleers.
1-2 pitch, way outside. Maddie Jennings tattoos that ball, but foul over towards the third base dugout. Trying to keep this 2-out party going for Coastal Carolina. The first 2 went out quickly, ground out and pop out, but after that, walk, home run, double. All 3 of the runs in this inning have been scored with 2 outs. In fact, the 1 run that came in the second inning also was scored with 2 outs. Maddie Jennings, deep center field, 3 home runs in the last 4 at-bats for Coastal Carolina.
And Coastal brings the boom again. Middle, down in the zone. Maddie Jennings drops the barrel and does not miss that one. A missile out to center. And the Chanticleers are feeling it right now. 6-3, Coastal Carolina, all with 2 outs here in the third.
It may not end either, because McKenna Metzger's at the plate. She hit a home run in the second inning of this game and also hit a walk-off grand slam against Howard earlier today to win the game 9-1 in run rule fashion. Metzger rolls one fair down the third base side. Metzger digging for 2. It is 5 straight extra base hits for Coastal Carolina. This is unreal.
I know, we knew the offense was gonna be good. Did we think it would be this hot, this quick in this elimination game on Saturday night? I don't think so. But again, the freshman coming up after a bomb, doesn't try to do too much, gets a pitch out over the plate and just puts a good swing on it. Right now, I don't know if there's an antidote against the Chanticleers offense.
That Duke dugout is searching for answers right now in a 5-run third inning that has included 3 home runs and 5 consecutive extra base hits for the Chanticleers. Bree Normandin at the plate is the 9th hitter of this inning for Coastal Carolina. Chops it to short. On a gold, flings it across the diamond, and finally brings. Carolina has the Blue Devils on the ropes.
Yeah, absolutely. It really feels like Duke has been deflated, and the energy and the pressure, they're on their heels. But I think if you're this Duke team and your head coach Marissa Young, you got to look at what you've done the first 3 innings. You've made solid contact, you've made things happen, and I think Kelly Green, talking to her before that interview started, saying we're going to need more. I think she's spot on. But for this Duke team, can they channel that? Can they be process-oriented pitch to pitch?
Hard chopper to short, takes a weird hop off the glove of Normandin, and Kyrie Rodriguez is on base. Not the flashiest way, Rain, but certainly something you'll take after giving up 5 runs last inning.
Yeah, and good things happen when you hit the ball hard. This was written in the books as it came to Normandin. I think she was a little off, not off guard, but out of rhythm. Didn't know if she should take the long hop or go get the short hop. Kind of caught in between there. It kicks up, and Kyrie Rodriguez reaches first on the error. And for Duke right now, it is 1 at a time. You know, I doubt we'll see sack bunts, never know. But it's get runners on, get them over, get them in, chip away. A lot of softball left, but no signs of this Coastal offense stopping either.
It is what Coastal Carolina is known for, the long ball. Top 10 in the country this season.
Yeah, and this one, I don't know where that misses. Maybe down. KK Mathis has a great eye. That's not a pitch you can do a ton of damage with, so good take.
She squares to bunt, lays it down the first base side. Georgia Hood flips it over to second for the out.
Yeah, Duke going with the sack bunt there. I don't know if that's called or if that was KK Mathis reading the defense, playing back on the first base side. I just don't know why you do it there. You're down 3 runs. KK Mathis has a ton of power in the bat. Coastal's offense is on fire right now. You know, you're not playing for 1 run. You're not playing for 2. You're not even playing for 3 even. This is going to be a shootout if Duke's going to come back. I mean, this seems like a ball game that's going to be 11-10, 12-13 even. And so I don't know if KK Mathis saw something that she thought she could find a way on there, but Coastal will gladly take that out in that situation.
We've already seen 9 combined runs in the first 3 innings of this game. 7 of them in that 3rd inning. Duke scored 2 in the top. Coastal responded with 5 just last half inning. This is Amaya Burgess at the plate. She's ahead 2-0. Nine hits with runners in scoring position throughout this regional for Duke, as Burgess tried to hold the swing but couldn't. 2-1. One aspect that we haven't talked about yet, Rain, that also is a big beneficiary of that 5-run inning. Coastal up 3 runs, and you don't even have your ace in Nicolette Picone in the game right now.
Yeah.
You can continue to have her sit a little bit longer and give her more rest.
Yeah, absolutely. They're in the driver's seat right now. And especially if they can get out of this inning with little damage, as Amaya Burgess draws the walk there, and Henderson just wondering where that misses. And I'm with her. I'm not sure where that misses. Maybe a hair down, but doesn't miss by much. As we take a look at this one, drop ball, outer edge, maybe down a tad, but to me, that's a great pitch. And look, I'm biased towards hitters, I'll admit it. But I think that's why I think Coach Q coming out, the pitching coach for Coastal, it's a great time, because reminding your pitcher, you don't have to nibble at the corners right now. Attack, even if it's bringing it up just a little bit higher, doesn't have to be at the kneecap. You got a cushion, you got some runs, and to your point, Noah, if they can get out of this inning with little damage for Coastal, then the last 3 half innings against this Duke offense, they can bring in Picone. They can bring in the veteran because Duke has not seen her yet. And this is when she's at her best, when their backs are against the wall, when her team needs her. But right now, Abby Henderson pitching incredibly well.
That was the first walk that Coastal Carolina pitchers have given up in this regional too. 6 innings yesterday against Georgia, 5 innings earlier today against Howard, and the first 3 1/3 innings today against Duke without allowing a walk. Gabriella Mike is the pinch runner for the Blue Devils at second. Duke still within 3 runs, and with a couple runners on, only 1 out, a chance to cut into this. And even if it's only 1 run, Rain, that would be huge to be able to bounce back after giving up 5 last half inning.
Yeah, and if they can score and then get a shutdown inning, they'll be in a good position.
Jada Baker ropes one into center field. Windmill is on. Cutoff throw is held on to, and Mike scores to make it 6-4. Right on cue, Duke gets a run.
Yeah, and it's Jada Baker this time. Base hit up the middle, gets her foot down, times it up, and was really surprised that Coastal did not let this one through. I think Gabriella Mike knew the jump that she had, didn't think that she'd be safe. I think if that throw goes through, I think she's out. But for Coastal, I actually like the approach because you're shooting the trail. You're trying to prevent the big inning. If you give it up to home and it gets by Jennings again, and Jada Baker and Amaya Burgess make it to second and third, now you're creating a big inning. But that was a moment there, though, that I think because Mike hesitated, they had a chance at home.
I was just going to say that. The hesitation rounding third, I think if you throw home, you might have had an opportunity to get her.
And also just knowing where they are in the lineup as well. With Aaliyah Terrell and Deanna Jennings, what you want to prevent is turning this lineup over for that big inning.
2 balls and a strike to Aaliyah Terrell with only 1 out and a couple runners on base for Duke. Bouncer right back up the middle and through to center field. Duke scores a run. Amaya Burgess is in to cut the deficit to 1. And what a response of an inning for Duke after allowing that 5-run eruption in the bottom of the third.
It's a good sign if you're Duke. Aaliyah Terrell has had a few really nice at-bats in this regional. This one, the biggest. Chop slap up the middle. Amaya Burgess turns the corner at third and scores. Jada Baker almost gets caught up. I think Marissa Young is taking advantage, knowing that Coastal is shooting the trail, sending these runners on plays that are really tight. But it looks like Coastal gonna make a pitching change to Nicolette Picone, the veteran in the circle.
Two runs in the inning for Duke. Cuts the lead for Coastal Carolina down to 1. The Durham Regional feeds into the Gainesville Regional. And how about Mercer, the 4 seed, losing yesterday in the opener to Florida. They beat Georgia Tech in an elimination game. Then they beat Florida Atlantic 7-0 in another elimination game tonight, and they get a second opportunity at the Gators tomorrow at 1 Eastern.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun to watch. Mercer, mid-major, do not overlook Mercer. Really good team, really well coached, can do a lot of things, and another mid-major that you gotta circle and keep your eye on is Coastal Carolina for good reason. Nicolette Picone, you look at the numbers in the Durham Regional, I mean, that's a lot of runs that she's given up relative to her stats, but you gotta credit these offenses because they've circled Picone's name and they've prepared specifically for her. And those runs came from the Georgia offense who, I mean, dotted up this Duke team earlier today. So will be interesting to see the senior come in and her approach to this Duke offense right now. And just to put a cap on the base running of Duke so far, another thing to note as we look at, well, first, let me go back. Let's look at the D1 ranks of Nicolette Picone. I mean, 236 innings pitched, leading the country in wins. If that doesn't define an ace, I don't know what does.
That was coming into the weekend as well. She's thrown 8 more innings, so that number's up to 244 total in the season, 3rd most in the country. And they rely on her as much as any team in the country relies on a pitcher. The season is now in her hands in the circle. Three straight batters have reached for Duke. The Blue Devils have put 2 runs up in the 4th already. With 2 runners on, only 1 out.
Yeah, and taking a look back at this play, Clara Hudgens, not known for a super strong arm, but hesitates there, and Jada Baker is off second base. And I think Bree Normandin was surprised that she almost turned around and tagged Jada Baker at second. But right now, Duke taking advantage of Clara Hudgens out in center, not believing she's got a strong enough arm to throw them out. I think a couple of these moments, if they had hit a cut and thrown it in, I mean, these Duke runners, in my opinion, might have been held out to dry, or hung out to dry, excuse me. But Coastal shooting the trail.
Deanna Jennings cuts through that pitch. It's 3-2. Yeah, Duke has been very aggressive base running in this inning, and that's why wouldn't they be?
And even early in this ballgame, very aggressive.
Jennings walks, bases loaded for the top of the order for Duke. After Coastal Carolina pitching had not given up a walk the entire regional, that's the 2nd in this inning.
Emotions are high in Durham right now. Back and forth. This is just really good softball, a lot of fun to watch. And now Duke a chance to tie things up or take the lead.
Tessa Malau-Ulu at the plate. A 4-year player at UCLA where she went on numerous deep postseason runs. Comes here to Duke, a team that is fresh off of a College World Series appearance last year. And in her 5th and final year of college softball, is trying to propel this Duke team into another deep postseason run. (2-0) from Picone. That's out of the zone, and Malau-Ulu faces a 3-0 count.
And you go back to the first pitch of this at-bat, Nicolette Picone was shaking her head saying, no, that was a strike. It's kind of bled into the last 2.
3-1.
And for Picone, she's trying not to miss over the middle of the plate. But she also can't split hairs on the outside edge. Now 3-1, you gotta give Malau-Ulu something to hit, and Malau-Ulu has got to be on time.
Malau-Ulu hammers one foul. It's 3-2, so Picone has battled back from down 3-0 to make this a full count.
And this is a big pitch. I mean, every moment matters, but right here, 3-2, bases juiced. Malau-Ulu at the plate, the home run hitter Vega on deck.
3-2, bases loaded. Malau-Ulu clubs one into left center field. Long run for Hudgens. She can't get there. Jada Baker scores to tie it. Here comes Terrell. Jennings scores. It is a bases clearing double to put Duke in front. A 5-run 3rd inning for Coastal Carolina, answered by a 5-run 4th for Duke.
The senior says, I don't want my season done yet. Hudgens with a diving extension, Baker scores, Terrell scores, and Jennings almost catches her teammate. Malau-Ulu, the senior, has led this team in more ways than just on the field. Now, the X's and O's, Malau-Ulu leads the charge for Duke.
Tessa Malau-Ulu had been just 1 for 10 with bases loaded this season. What a moment for a bases clearing double to give your team the lead.
And how about the effort out in center field by Clara Hudgens? In fact, Coastal Carolina's athletic training crew is checking on her after that dive. I mean, this is a game of inches. And it looks like the shoulder of the center fielder or the arm. Let's take a look at the base running from Deanna Jennings. And it's just really good stuff from the junior. Reads it off the bat, knows it's in the gap, and watch the speed. Waits a little bit because she doesn't want to pass Aaliyah Terrell, who was waiting for the ball to be caught to potentially tag up. That's good softball right there, especially for Aaliyah Terrell, knowing if that ball is caught on a dive, I can make it to third base on a sack, but also knowing if that ball gets down, I have enough speed to score from second base.
3 of the 5 runs that have been scored in this inning for Duke, and granted, I know a couple of those early would have been scored no matter what, a batter or 2 later, but it's been because of Duke's absolute aggression on the base paths this inning.
Yeah, and even earlier in this ball game, Molau Ulu scored from second base on the pass ball.
Yeah.
As we take a look at the Hudgens dive and getting her shoulder looked at right now on the glove side, you can tell the sophomore wants so desperately to stay in this ball game and that she's fighting through some pain. I mean, she's got a solid arm, but really it's her ability to track down balls in the gaps. And that play, the fact that that was even close, speaks volumes to her speed, the jumps that she gets out in center. It looks like the sophomore is going to stay in it.
The last 3 half innings, we've seen 12 runs on 11 hits, 6 extra base hits.
Incredible. And the only out in this inning for Duke was the sack bunt.
Yes.
So, I mean, and KK Mathis has been swinging it just about as good as anybody on this Duke team. But credit the aggressive base running that we just touched on, Noah. The confidence, the awareness of the speed that head coach Marissa Young has on the base path has led to these opportunities, and they have cashed in.
Now Amina Vega, too, at the plate, the All-American from a season ago who has already homered today. We talked with Kelly Green, the Coastal Carolina head coach, at the beginning of this half inning, which feels like forever ago. And she said to us when they were up 6-3, we're going to need more runs than this to win it. And she was right.
Yeah, I think for both sides of the ball, I think if the score stood as it is now and Duke were to take defense, I don't think they feel comfortable with a 2-run lead against this Coastal offense. And you look at the duo of Amina Vega and Anna Gold, and they're just making their way to the plate. This is exactly where you want to be if you're Duke.
Check swing, a roller to third, Keith on to first, runner takes off, it's a double play. From Keith to Hood to Normandin, a double play to end what was a 5-run inning for Duke. This is Livy Payne at the plate. She started the 3rd inning, was the first of 9 to come to the plate for Coastal Carolina in that 5-run inning. Duke followed it up with 5 runs of their own, sending 8 to the plate. Not that you can expect back-to-back 5-run half innings, Rain, but that's kind of what you expect with these 2 offenses. I mean, both of them are so good.
Yeah, and I think it's whichever pitching staff can really buckle down and hit the corners and mix speeds like that. And I think right now can be the turning point for either of these ball clubs. If Coastal punches back and scores at least 1 run, I think the momentum shifts into the Chanticleer's dugout. On the other side of things, if Danny Drugmuller can come out into the circle and produce a shutdown inning for her team, I think the momentum goes towards the Blue Devils.
Well, she gets a swing and a miss from Livy Payne to start this inning with a strikeout.
Yeah, and this is what we've been used to seeing from Danny Drugmuller all season long. The ability to paint the corners, to mix speeds, and to tunnel pitches. The pitch before it, off speed, off the outside edge. That one tunnels incredibly well, but a drop ball off the outside edge gets the punch out, her first of the day.
Her first, Duke's 5th as a pitching staff tonight. Clara Hudgens squares around a bunt, but pops it straight up to the third baseman, and Tessa Malau-Ulu with the snag.
Yeah, and this is exactly what you want if you're Duke in this ball club. The shutdown inning and 2 really easy outs, if you will, but now got to deal with the top of this lineup, and then it does not get easier as you work your way down.
We talked about the 5-run inning coming right after Coastal's 5-run inning. That was good on its own, but if you get this shutdown inning and go 1, 2, 3, it makes it even that much better.
Yeah, and it also sets you up in the 5th, 6th, and 7th. If you're able to get the top of this lineup out, then it sets you up to face the bottom, if all things go well for Duke, in the 7th. Of course, you know, I'm no betting woman, but I'd probably bet they're going to have a few more deeper innings in the 5th and the 6th. However, for Danny Drugmuller, a fresh inning, an opportunity to get her team back in the dugout to get more insurance runs will be huge for Duke.
She threw against Georgia earlier today, so 8 innings thrown over the course of the day today. That's flared into shallow left field. Anna Gold there to grab it, and that ends a Sunday. That is all right here in Durham. What a 7 to 10 day stretch here in Durham, hosting the softball regional. Got baseball conference tournament here in Durham as well. Postseason play in full swing. And the Duke bats come up after a 5-run 4th inning to go from down 6-3 to up 8-6. With one of the biggest bats in program history, leading it off in Anna Gold. Her 53 home runs, most ever in a Duke uniform.
Yeah, and Duke could use another one now. I mean, this 2-run lead against this Coastal offense, especially with who is going to come up to the plate next half inning for Coastal. You need insurance if you're Duke, and Anna Gold has given this program a ton of insurance throughout her career.
It was in on the hands that she fights off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Two-home run day yesterday, drove in 5 in the opening round win against Howard, but it's been pretty quiet since then for Anna Gold. Two and 2. Full count.
Yeah, and this is a big pitch. You can try to get on the hands of Anna Gold with the curveball from Picone come across her body, but if you miss over the middle, she will punish the softball.
A little out in front of the off speed that time, and she floats it foul and out of play. Another 3-2 from Picone. Gold bounces it right back to her. There's an underhand toss from Picone, and there's 1 down in the 5th.
That's a great pitch by the senior. Drop ball, outer half, gets Anna Gold to try to battle that pitch off and chase. Weak ground ball to Picone, who fields her position well. Huge first out in the top of the 5th.
Cleanup hitter now in Kyrie Rodriguez, who has battled through all kinds of adversity over the course of her career. A redshirt sophomore from West Palm Beach, Florida. Missed all of last season and redshirted. Her freshman season, played some, had a little bit of a role, but not much. Suffered a knee injury in the regular season finale. So did not have that big of a role the first 2 years, but has had a breakout season this year for Duke.
Yeah, and I love the plate discipline from Kyrie Rodriguez throughout her career. You mentioned the freshman year when she had that knee injury. This one, drop ball, off the outside edge. Picone did not get the call on the pitch before, gets the call there. But to go back, I mean, you mentioned it, Noah, has really had a breakout year this year, but has been in the cards. And I think head coach Marissa Young knew what she had in Kyrie Rodriguez. And for her to battle from that adversity with that knee injury to be where she is now is huge.
Earns a 5-pitch walk. That is the 3rd walk in the last 2 innings that Coastal Carolina pitchers have given up after not allowing a walk in the first 2+ games of this regional.
Yeah, and credit Duke. They haven't expanded the zone. Once a pitch has come in over the plate, they've punished it, which makes you a little bit more hesitant in the circle. You want to work around it. Because there's 2 ways to play it. Yeah, you can give up the free passes. That's never good. That's always something you're going to circle and want to improve. But if you miss Ted Red, center cut middle of the plate, platey, as McKenna Metzger for Coastal likes to call it, they're going to punish the softball as well.
One. Mathis takes a strike on the outside corner, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And yeah, that's a tough pitch to hit as a righty because Picone has so much movement coming from the lefty. Backdoor curve that starts off the plate and makes its way back towards the outside edge.
Mathis right back to the pitcher again. Picone gets 1 at second. There will not be a throw over to first, but Coastal Carolina does get the lead runner.
Nice job by Picone to field her position, but a great job going back to that pitch. And for KK Mathis, such a smart hitter, gets that second strike call and then has to go defend that ball. That pitch on the outside edge, the backdoor curve, and that's a tough pitch to do damage with and doesn't do it there. Picone gets the leadoff out.
2-out hitting has not been kind to Duke today, 0 for 9 throughout the course of the 2 games. Trying to string together something here to add to this 2-run lead. And Burgess watches a strike. Winner sees Georgia tomorrow in the regional final at 2:30. The loser's season comes to an end. Whoever wins this game would have to beat Georgia twice tomorrow to win the regional and advance to a super regional. Burgess with a bouncing ball to short. Normandin on to first, and that ends the top of the 5th inning as we go to the bottom of the... A 4-home-run day for Coastal Carolina. 1 back in the 2nd inning, followed by 3 in the 3rd inning. Two, 3, 4 hitters for Coastal Carolina, by far the most dangerous part of their lineup. With Delaney Keith at the plate, who had 1 of those home runs in the 3rd inning. Two and 1.
Yeah, you can see the pressure that Danny Drugmuller feels in the circle, knowing the power in the bat of Delaney Keith. But if you're Drugmuller right now, of course, you don't want to give up a home run. But you got a 2-run cushion. You don't want to give up the free pass more.
Keith rolls it over to first base in foul territory.
And especially against this Chanticleer offense, you can live and survive with solo shots. It's when you give up the free passes and this Chanticleer's team string hits together, that's when they do the most damage.
3 and 2 from Drugmuller. It's in the dirt, and there's the free pass you're talking about. Delaney Keith with a leadoff walk. Just unreal numbers from these 2, 3, 4 hitters that we talked about. 20-plus home runs for both Keith and Hood, and then Kirsten Roos leading the way in doubles for the Chanticleers.
Yeah, just unbelievable. I mean, there are certain programs across country that didn't even hit 20 home runs this year. And not that you have to hit home runs to be a great team, but that has been the key to success for the Chanticleers offense.
Bounces away from Rodriguez. That allows Keith to trot up 60 feet into scoring position.
Yeah, this was one that Kyrie Rodriguez behind the plate will want back. Typically a brick wall, but lets the chest protector, the chin go up just enough. It ricochets off for, as a young catcher out there, you want to keep your chin down and smother that softball.
They get the call on the inside corner.
And the difficult part here is, you know, if there's anyone else behind Georgia Hood, you're probably doing the old unintentional, intentional walk, force her to get herself out, give her some junk, but you don't want to give more free passes for an RBI threat that is Roos.
Hood rolls it to short. Anna Gold makes the play. Delaney Keith advances another base. She's 60 feet away from scoring with 1 out.
That is a huge out for this Duke team. To get Georgia Hood off the base path. I know she hasn't been on the base path for long because she's usually jogging. Takes about 20 seconds. But to get an out in this inning has got to give this team confidence, and Marissa Young gonna go talk to her staff ahead of Kirsten Roos coming up to the plate.
A 3-home run regional for Georgia Hood. She's hit 1 in all 3 games so far. But Drugmuller gets her to ground out to short for the first out of the inning. Doesn't get any easier because here comes Kirsten Roos.
Yeah, and then you got to deal with Maddie Jennings, who's had a home run in this game, and then McKenna Metzger, who's also had a home run in this game. And so up and down this lineup, there's really no place to hide. But I love the move to go talk to your pitcher and just get on the same page with pitch calling and figure out, hey, what do you feel most good about in terms of location and command? Let's throw that.
Roos is out in front of the off-speed. We are right in the middle of that stretch for Coastal Carolina that had 5 straight extra base hits in the 3rd inning. From Delaney Keith in the 2 spot, all the way down to McKenna Metzger in the 6 hole. Chopper to 3rd. Malau-Ulu checks the runner at 3rd. The throw got away from Baker. The run scores, makes it a 1-run game, and Roos is in there safely to 2nd. A complete disaster for Duke.
Yeah, this was textbook up until the ball got to Jada Baker at first base. Malau-Ulu gets it on the short hop. No errors on the air. As she moves her feet, checks the runner Keith, and then it's just hand-eye coordination failing Jada Baker there. Allows Keith to score. Kirsten Roos with the wheels takes advantage of the extra 60 feet to 2nd base. Now, tying run on 2nd, only 1 out in this inning. That was a huge mistake for Duke.
Everything about that was perfect from Malau-Ulu, the 3rd baseman. Charging, making the play on the short hop, looking the runner back at 3rd. But Baker couldn't come away with it at first. Got away from her, run scores. Coastal's got the tying run in scoring position.
Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow because there's not a ton of coaching that you can do in those moments. It's just sometimes your hand-eye coordination fails you. So for young athletes out there, just know at the highest level, those things can happen to anyone.
Jennings on a line to 2nd. The flip back to the bag is in time. Wow!
Wow. And Coastal claws for 1 back on the Duke defensive miscue. But there, it's the defense.
A bit of everything in this game tonight, Rain.
Oh yeah, we've seen bombs, quite a few bombs. We've seen aggressive base running. We've seen mental miscues. We've seen uncharacteristic errors.
Rolled to 2nd base. Roos, 1 away.
But I think under this umbrella is these women are competing really hard, and no one wants their season to end tonight. And for these seniors, Nicolette Picone being one of them, this could be the last time they put their cleats on, they play softball, and it will be the last time in that jersey. I think Picone could play some professional softball if she wants to, but either way, what you feel, the pride that you have for your college softball program, this is the pinnacle, in my opinion. And so this is a game that means everything to these women.
Chopped right back to the pitcher by Terrell. Picone takes care of it, 2 away. Coastal Carolina just scored 1 in the bottom of the 5th to pull it within a 1-run game, and now Picone an out away from going 1-2-3 against the bottom of the order for Duke. Deanna Jennings has been on base both times today with a walk and a single. She faces a 1-1 count here.
Yeah, that one, really nice pitch. Curveball, lefty-lefty. Does it cut across the plate, or does it get outside before it does so? I mean, that was tight. I think Picone wanted it.
High bouncing ball. Keith zips it to first, and they get Jennings. A great inning for Coastal Carolina's defense.
But Metzger chose Hostel, and boy, what a choice it's been for head coach Kelly Green.
I think both parties are excited that she chose to go to Coastal Carolina, wouldn't you say?
I would say so. And I expect here for Bree Normandin potentially to lay down a bunt, but you got to look at the bottom of this lineup. Livy Payne, Clara Hudgens have struggled thus far offensively.
Normandin cannot get the bunt down. 1-1 with the tying run on first and nobody out in the 6th.
Yeah, and I understand the strategy because, you know, obviously you're chasing the tie at this point. You're trying to get that 8th run, but looking who you have behind Bree Normandin, who's batting .300 on the year, they've struggled offensively in this game and in the season relative to their teammates. And also talking to head coach Kelly Green ahead of this one about her offensive philosophy, she said, we do not bunt a lot. We hit a lot of home runs, and so you got to factor in that this team doesn't bunt a whole lot. And so in these moments, they might feel that pressure.
Normandin chops it back to the pitcher. Drugmuller onto second. They turn the double play. Drugmuller helps her own cause by wiping away a leadoff single.
And this is what we call PFP, pitchers fielding practice. Danny Drugmuller and pitchers across the country have taken thousands of reps like that for moments like that. The double play erases the leadoff base hit, and Duke sitting in a great position in the bottom of the 6th, but it's been with 2 outs that they've had the most damage done against them. Can Coastal do it again?
In fact, that McKenna Metzger single to lead off this inning was Coastal Carolina's first hit before 2 outs in the inning. Everything they've done all game long today has been with 2 outs.
That's incredible. I mean, the focus, and we talked to actually head coach Tony Baldwin from Georgia earlier today about his team's ability to work, even with 2 outs, to be focused, play pitch to pitch. But you see that in Coastal as well, and this Duke team, the ability to play pitch to pitch and not lay down even after 2 outs in the inning speaks to this team's commitment to the process, and they are very good at it.
Not sure where that one missed.
Yeah. This one, knee high. Definitely caught plate.
Maybe a touch low. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe a touch low, but doesn't miss by much.
Payne wraps one through the hole on the left side. Another 2-out hit, the 7th today for Coastal Carolina.
And no matter the outcome of this inning, Coastal's top of the lineup will be at the plate in the 7th if they're unable to get to the plate now. And you look at the 2-out numbers, 4 bombs with 2 outs.
That is the craziest stat I've seen today. 1 for 13 with less than 2 outs, 7 for 11 with 2 outs.
Now batting for 2, Clara Hudgens.
Emma Scavran, the pinch runner for Coastal Carolina. Clara Hudgens at the plate, the 9-hole hitter. There is nothing Duke wants more than to get this out and get out of the inning and not have to face the top of that Coastal Carolina lineup with a couple runners on base. Check swing, did she go? No.
And the crowd is getting into it. Hudgens moves her feet through the box, the slapper. That is tight. Very subjective call. Duke fans have the hands on the head.
3 balls and a strike now.
And it's been moments like that. I mean, in the Livy Payne at bat, a pitch that was called a ball, maybe could have been a strike. That pitch there, called a ball, said she didn't go, could have been a strike. Now 3-1. And base on balls, which passes the bat to the top of this lineup.
Coastal Carolina fans to their feet. Duke fans feeling the pressure a little bit. Two on, 2 out, 1-run game, elimination game of a regional. Tying run in scoring position for Coastal Carolina at the top of the order with Libby Pippin. First pitch strike, Drugmuller gets ahead 0-1.
You know, we talked about the power down this lineup, but Libby Pippin has some pop too. 5 bombs on the year. Excuse me, 7.
Down 0-2 though.
It looks like Libby Pippin hunting a certain pitch. I don't know if she's hunting the off speed, but takes 2 fastballs there up in the zone. Now, can't afford to hunt any particular pitch, has to battle, but Libby Pippin, one of the best in this Coastal lineup to do it.
And if you're Drugmuller, I think you've even got a couple pitches to work with here. You may not necessarily want to throw anything over the zone in this next pitch.
Yeah, you want to throw a pitch here, obviously, that Libby Pippin can't do a ton of damage with. And depends on how Danny Drugmuller feels about the confidence with the off-speed, but I'm going off-speed in the dirt.
Instead, she goes rise ball up and out of the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two and 2. Pippin fouls it off. Just gets a piece of it.
It's a great pitch by Drugmuller. In on the hands. tries to jam up Libby Pippen, but on the other side of things for Pippen, a great job to battle. And that's what she does. She'll let you get ahead, but she will battle and battle and battle until she finds a pitch she can do damage with.
Another 2-2. Pippen lofts it over to short. Gold's got it. The tying run stranded in scoring position, and we go to the 7th inning in Durham.
7th inning is probably the smallest, most minute one-run lead you could possibly have. And so Duke right where they want to be. You said it, Noah, in between innings. Duke top of the lineup, right where they want to be to score some runs. But if Nicolette Picone can get her team in the dugout, I mean, when you look at Delaney Keith, Georgia Hood, Kirsten Roos, and what they've done, I think they sit in the driver's seat even only down 1.
Malau Ulu sprays one into left field in foul territory, and a sliding Pippen couldn't get there in time. Yeah, to look ahead to the bottom of the 7th, you can say Duke has exactly what they want with the top of the order. Coastal Carolina definitely has exactly what they want with 2, 3, and 4 coming up, the biggest bats in their lineup.
Yeah, I mean, this is drama. This is postseason softball. This is hashtag mayhem on display tonight.
Roller over to second. Roos waits back on it. 1 down. Nicolette Picone, who's thrown the 3rd most innings in the nation. Gets Amina Vega, the All-American, to cut through the first pitch. First team All-ACC this year, the only Duke Blue Devil to be named to the first team All-Conference. Bounces one foul off of her foot. It's 0-2.
And Picone has come out this inning firing. I mean, attacking the zone early against Malau Ulu. Amina Vega here in this at-bat, attacking her as well. The lefty-on-lefty matchup with the movement that Picone has in her curveball. Very, very difficult to beat. The senior is leaving it all out on the field tonight.
Sharply hit to short. Normandin on to first. 2 outs.
And for Duke, obviously, the top of this lineup, you want some insurance. But if you're going to get insurance with 1 swing, it's going to be off the bat of Anna Gold. The power bat that's been kept at bay today has a chance to give her team an insurance run that would be huge for the bottom of the 7th.
We will have a bottom of the 7th. We are in Durham. Duke is the host. They're the 1 seed. But here in the regional, the visiting team, Coastal Carolina, will have an opportunity with the bats in the bottom of the 7th. Gold started the swing, but able to hold the hands back, and it's a ball and a strike. Marissa Young said every team we face circles the name Anna Gold at the top of the lineup card. She gets the best from every pitcher, yet she somehow always delivers in the biggest moments. The 1-2. Gold gets a piece of it, fouls it straight back, and stays alive.
And how about the confidence from Picone to go curveball in to Anna Gold? That's a very, very difficult pitch to execute, because if you miss middle, Anna Gold's gonna make you pay. But now Anna Gold has seen in, she's seen hard away. She's gotta defend both, which disrupts timing.
Slides low and outside from Picone to even the count at 2-2.
But Anna Gold has really tattooed changeups so far this weekend, which is, I'm sure, something that Coastal has noted. So that's a dangerous pitch in the mix as well.
Gold rolls another one foul to the third base dugout. Good at bat here from the senior from New York, Anna Gold, who's fouled off two two-strike pitches. This is another 2-2. Gold with a chopper to third. Keith zips it across the diamond. 1, 2, 3 goes the top of the order for Duke, and the big upstairs to Keith. 1 ball and 1 strike.
3 seniors on the field for Duke: Danny Drugmuller, Anna Gold, Tessa Malau-Ulu, hoping this is not their last game in a Duke uniform.
Keith was able to hold off on the swing. It's 2-1.
And on the other side of things, the 5 seniors on this Coastal team who've meant so much to this program. Right now, the junior, Delaney Keith, trying to extend their season, extend the careers.
High and tight to Keith. She's seen 3 straight out of the zone. Coastal Carolina was the 7 seed last week in the Sun Belt tournament. Won 4 games in 4 days to punch a ticket to the regional. Down 1 run to the host, Duke. 3-2, just caught the outside corner from Drugmuller.
And this is a big pitch, obviously. Every pitch is big. But on deck, Georgia Hood. And Danny Drugmuller calls her own pitch.
Bouncer through the hole on the right side. Delaney Keith, the leadoff batter, is on base, and the tying run is on first.
What an at-bat from the junior. Drugmuller executes a drop on the inside edge that peaks over the middle. And that's all Delaney Keith needs to find a barrel and get it through the 3-4 hole. She knows what that means to her team to pass the bat to Georgia Hood with a chance to win this ball game with 1 swing. And one thing to note, we are at Duke Softball Stadium. This is Duke's home field, but Duke is not the home team. And so Coastal has it in their hands right now, the opportunity to win. And Duke has the lead right now, and you look across the crowd and no one feels comfortable. In fact, it feels like the Chanticleers have the lead somehow, and they're gonna intentionally walk Hood. Oh my gosh.
They are intentionally walking the tying run into scoring position and putting the game-winning run on base.
I mean, this is Barry Bonds type stuff. Holy smokes. Game-winning run on first, tying run on second, but I mean, Hood has been the most dangerous hitter all regional long for Coastal and honestly across the 4 teams. But you still got to deal with Roos, and you got to deal with Maddie Jennings, who's hit a home run. You got to deal with McKenna Metzger, who's honestly maybe even been hotter than Georgia Hood.
Three home runs in the regional for Georgia Hood. She does not get the opportunity to swing the bat here. An intentional walk has just put the tying run on second, the game-winning run on first with nobody out. Do you agree with that decision?
I think, to me, it's a coin flip because you want to circle the name of the best hitter on that team and say, we will not let her beat us. I think the difficult piece is it doesn't get easier, and now you open up opportunities for the other bats in this lineup. And what Kirsten Roos is likely going to do is put a bunt down here. She's got a ton of speed that puts the runner on third base with less than 2 outs, and the power bats of Jennings and Metzger right behind her. So I'd expect a bunt here.
She's going to swing away. Tessa Malau-Ulu carries it over to third, and Duke gets the lead runner.
Wow. And mean, and head coach Kelly Green told us before this weekend, hey, I don't bunt a lot. Our goal is to score a ton of runs. And so I also understand the philosophy that I'm going to give 3 of my best bats an opportunity to hit the ball in the gap. But they're not what you want, obviously. A ground ball to Ma'ulu, who taps third, but now it's Maddie Jennings, the senior.
Jennings rips it down the line. It's fair.
Foul.
Oh, it's foul.
It's foul.
A late raise of the hands by the home plate umpire, and it's a foul ball.
Oh, man.
Whoo.
Oh, and that's a play, too, that you can review it and reverse it if you call it fair live. But because it's called foul, you can't review it and change it. Kevin Condor right on top of it. We'll get a good look here. And that does look foul. I don't see chalk. Oh my gosh.
Woo-wee.
Good call by our home plate umpire, Kevin Condor.
Jennings way late on the swing this time. She falls behind 0-2. Just off the outer edge of the plate.
Yeah, it's a good pitch. That's a good pitch. 0-2. Jennings has proven she's free swinging a little bit. That 0-1 pitch was off the plate.
Two on, one out. The 1-2 to Jennings. Reaches after it and slashes it foul.
Yeah, there Jennings going after a pitch off the plate. For Duke right now, you gotta prevent the double, right? Because if you give up that double, run is gonna score from first base, game is over. But Duke kind of playing more shallow than you'd imagine, trying to cut down that runner at home maybe. But honestly, if I'm Duke right now, I'm pushing my right fielder and my left fielder back to give me a chance to cut off those doubles.
Another 1-2 to Jennings. 2-2. Coastal Carolina trying to advance to its first regional final since 2011, when they did it in the Tempe Regional. Jennings lofts it in the air, left side foul territory. It's caught. 2 outs, bringing McKenna Metzger, the freshman, to the plate. Earlier in an elimination game against Howard today, hit a walk-off grand slam for a run rule victory.
Yeah, and the walk-off was, of course, in different fashion with it being a run rule victory. But going back to the Sun Belt tournament, Maddie Jennings has had ice in her veins, and she has been the best hitter tonight for this Coastal team. A home run in the 3rd, a double in the 5th. Has barreled balls all weekend long. You cannot draw it up better.
Dating back to the grand slam to end last game, she's gotten 4 straight hits. A grand slam followed by a home run, followed by a double, followed by a single. Can she keep the season alive for Coastal Carolina?
Oh. Wow, that's a big call. This pitch elevated, to me, that's off the plate, but Danny Drugmuller gets the call. There's been some that have not gone her way, and the softball gods always like to even it out.
Metzger up the middle, fielded by the second baseman Vega. The throw home is wild. It's away from Rodriguez. Coastal Carolina's tied it at 8.
The umpiring crew is calling dead ball. They're going to review the play at second base. To me, live, it looked like she was safe. And that is a huge missed opportunity for Duke. What a job by Amina Vega to get to this pitch up the middle, but for Anna Gold to receive it and not either hear the defense or for the defense not to communicate that there was a runner coming home. We'll get a look here. Amina Vega, great job to get rid of it. Gold, foot on the bag, she's safe, but it's here. She doesn't look for the next play. As our crew takes a look here and then yanks the throw home, and Coastal ties things up. And for Duke, you gotta challenge this, because if you get that out, ball game over. You head to Championship Sunday, but you can feel it in the emotions of the senior Anna Gold. That was an opportunity to get the out at home. I mean, what a game. And McKenna Metzger again, finding ways to put the team on her back. And right now, if I'm Duke, I'm getting the entire infield together. Right now, Malaulu and Anna Gold kind of off on their own island. Two of the seniors, a lot of emotion, a lot of pressure, but in this moment, you've got to band together, have each other's back.
As it sits now, Coastal Carolina has tied it at 8. They're looking to see if this was obstruction or not.
Wow.
So very clearly, Roos was safe. Here's the call. Ruling on the field is upheld. Coastal Carolina has tied it in the bottom of the 7th at 8.
So we'll take a look at this play again. Metzger up the middle. Amina Vega keeps it in the infield, gives it up to Gold. Gold hesitates, then yanks the throw home, which allows Baxter to score and tie things up. And Roos gets the third base. Metzger gets the second. Her run doesn't mean anything. But Roos, who runs the bases incredibly well, has great instinct 60 feet away from sending her team to Championship Sunday, as we see Lucy Goodwin, the senior, pinch hit here with 2 outs in the 7th.
Goes right after the first pitch. Pops it out of play and foul to go behind 0-1. Just 160 on the season for the senior. The game-winning run 60 feet away, a chance to knock off number 14 Duke and send them home in their home field. A spot in the regional final against Georgia on the line tomorrow afternoon. The 1-1. Goodwin, ground ball, second base. Vega on to first, and that ends the inning. Tied at 8. We are going extra innings from the Durham Regional. And earlier in that 7th inning, with Georgia Hood at the plate, who's hit 3 home runs in this regional, Duke elected to intentionally walk her, which moved the tying run into scoring position at second.
Yeah, what a gutsy call by head coach Marissa Young. But hey, that's why she gets paid the big bucks. Nobody knows her team better. Nobody scouts harder than Marissa Young. And it worked out in some ways. And I think if Coastal drops a bunt there and moves runners to second and third, I think they score that run. And I mean, of course, the butterfly effect, you never know what actually would have shaken out, but doesn't matter. I mean, wipe the history clean. It is a 0-0 ball game in the top of the 8th.
Cleanup hitter is Kyrie Rodriguez, who's at the plate for Duke. She faces a 3-1 count.
And this is where you have to be patient if you're Rodriguez. Get your pitch.
She does, serves one into right field, and it falls in front of Montoya, the right fielder. Duke's got the leadoff batter on base in the top of the 8th.
So Coastal right now is playing no doubles defense. So look how deep Montoya is out in right field. You can barely even see her. This is a line drive that if she were playing normal depth, that's probably right in the glove of Montoya. And also, Montoya subbed into this game for Payne out in right.
Mathis squares to bunt, fouls it straight back. You talked earlier when Mathis laid down a sac bunt that you didn't like that decision. You wanted her, who's been swinging the bat really well, to be able to swing away. Is it different now in the 8th inning?
No, to me it's not, and just because of how well she swung the bat, and also we just saw it last half inning. Up by 1 doesn't feel great against Coastal. And so I think the same thing could be said now. And also just down this lineup, I mean, Amaya Burgess, Jada Baker, formidable power threats, but KK Mathis is one of your best doubles hitters, best power threats in this offense. And when you put her down 0-1 after fouling a bunt off, especially against a pitcher like Picone who moves it, I mean, 7-8 inches of horizontal break, you put her in a hole. And when you put Picone ahead and KK Mathis in a hole, she can do damage with the amount of tools that she has.
Mathis bounces this one foul on a 2-strike pitch. Picone, the ace for Coastal Carolina, has come in and locked down this Duke offense, who scored 8 runs in the first 4 innings, none over the last 3. Mathis crushes it right center field in the gap, and it one-hops the wall. Rodriguez into third, Mathis slides into second, and you called it. One of the best doubles hitters for Duke comes through with a double.
And this is a big one, and this is pre-pitch, identifying where the outfielders are as a base runner. This one driven out into right center. Clara Hudgens was playing left center gap, had to cover a ton of ground, no chance to make this play, but Kyrie Rodriguez hung up a little bit, and KK Mathis had to wait. And then on the other side of things, Coastal didn't communicate that KK Mathis was hung up, and so on both sides of the softball tonight, we have seen communication really be hamstringing these teams. I mean, if there's a communication there, and maybe, you know what, maybe it's the crowd, it's loud, you can't hear, it's chaotic, but that's a moment there where it's a missed opportunity as we see Brooklyn Thomas coming in for KK Mathis to run at second base. But how it stands, second and third, a massive hit for KK Mathis, a huge double, and Duke in the driver's seat in the top of the 8th.
Big swing of the bat from KK Mathis. Has put 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out in the top of the 8th. Duke is 4 for 5 with runners in scoring position today. They have come through in the clutch moments. When you've got 2 runners on, if you're Coastal Carolina, nobody out, what's the mindset and the approach got to be here?
Well, I think on a hard hit ground ball, you check the runner, get to 1. You want to collect outs knowing you have an at-bat in your back pocket in the bottom of the 8th. But I think that's why you see this infield in, is because they want to cut down that runner at home in Rodriguez. But they're going to do their best on a hard hit ball, especially if Rodriguez does not break immediately, to get the out at first base.
Into right field, plenty deep, it's over the head of Montoya. Rodriguez and Thomas come in to score. It's Amaya Burgess with a go-ahead 2-run double in extra innings.
And another clutch hit for the sophomore. Takes the first pitch, but does not miss the second one. Knew it right away. I think she might have thought this ball was going out of the ballpark, but a line drive out into right center. Brooklyn Thomas scores. Kyrie Rodriguez scores. Duke up 10-8.
After giving up an 8-7 lead in the bottom of the 7th, to send this game to extra innings, the Duke offense responds immediately with a single, a double, and a double, the first 3 batters they send to the plate. Jada Baker cuts after that one low and out of the zone. She's quickly behind 0-2.
And now with the heightened emotions for Jada Baker, 0-2, you gotta choke up and gotta battle and get Amaya Burgess to third base. Give your offense a chance with less than 2 outs to get another insurance run. And you gotta know too, you're gonna get a steady diet of curveballs on the inside half because they want you to roll it over to the left side where they can check Amaya Burgess and get it to first base. And for Pacone, keep filling up the zone, keep doing what you do best.
High chopper over to short. Normandin on to first. She beat out the throw. Jada Baker runs it out, and there's runners on the corners now for Duke, still with nobody out.
And it's a great job. Backdoor curveball, not a pitch you can do a ton of damage with, but it's a pitch you can battle. Gets the high chopper, uses the wheels, and finds a way on base. Bree Normandin does all she can to make this play close. I think what you think about doing, that one was a tight play, but fake throw and try to get Burgess at second.
Runner takes off from first. Jada Baker was trying to draw a throw, but doesn't. 2 runners in scoring position, and the Blue Devils have a chance to add more to this 2-run lead. Terrell lays down the bunt, the flip home is over the top of the glove of Jennings. Duke scores 2 more. It is a 12-8 lead in the top of the 8th with 4 runs coming to the plate without an out recorded.
Aaliyah Terrell is somewhat of an unsung hero for this Duke ball club so far this week in a perfect squeeze bunt. Delaney Keith do it, but I don't know if there's anything you can do there. You're so close, you gotta have a lot of touch. It has to be a perfect toss. It wasn't that, it gets by Jennings, and you can see the junior. Smiles on the faces of the Duke Blue Devils. They have a 4-run lead and nobody out in the top of the 8th.
Keep in mind, Coastal Carolina had a 5-run inning back in the 3rd. They have one of the most dangerous offenses in the country with so much power, more than 90 home runs on the season. I promise you they are not out of this game.
Yeah, they are certainly not out of this ball game. But they gotta find a way to get out of this inning. Limit the damage as much as you possibly can. Because they can turn around 8 runs in an inning in an instant, but it's hard to do against a team like Duke, who plays really good defense, especially the outfield, how much they can track down balls. So limit the damage, get outs, get your offense back into the dugout.
And the thing I think that's most impressive about this for Duke is that it's been the middle and the bottom of the order that's done it, Rain.
Yeah.
Those top 3 hitters, we talked so much about their production. They went 1, 2, 3 in the 7th, and it's been the 4 through 8 hitters who have done all of this for Duke this inning.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's the athletes on this team that don't get as much notoriety. I mean, you look at Kyrie Rodriguez, what she's meant, even going back to her freshman year when she got injured, she had the clutch gene. You look at Aaliyah Terrell. Aaliyah Terrell has not been a starter for this ball club all year long. She started as a pinch runner last year and was a pinch runner for a good chunk of this year, up until recently. She's an unsung hero. And then Amaya Burgess, the sophomore who continues to come up clutch. So to your point, you're right. The bottom of this lineup has shown up for this Duke ball club.
The first 5 to the plate in this inning for Duke have all reached base. 4 of them have already scored. And Aaliyah Terrell is in scoring position with nobody out. Jennings, slow bouncer right in front of the plate. The throw to first cannot be scooped up by Hood. Duke has another base runner on the corners.
Yeah, and a base runner with speed. I anticipate Deanna Jennings is going to take second, or attempt to. But this one, a swinging bunt right in front of Maddie Jennings. Georgia Hood does all she can to make this play close, but unable to pick it on the short hop. And that's what speed does. It puts pressure, and speed does not slump. And now the top of the lineup for the Blue Devils.
The 4 through 9 hitters have all reached base in this inning for Duke, who's flipped it back to the top. Tessa Malau-Ulu at the plate, the leadoff hitter for the Blue Devils. With no outs, 2 runners on. The 1-1. Malau-Ulu pulls back the bunt attempt, but it's a strike. And Jennings takes off for second. Now 2 runners in scoring position for Duke, who has a chance to add some more insurance to this 4-run inning. Foul ball from Malau-Ulu. Coastal Carolina bats will still have an opportunity in the bottom of the 8th, but the defense has to make something happen here. No outs in the inning. 4 runs have already scored, and there's 2 more base runners still on base. Malau-Ulu, short hop picked by Normandin, and there's the first out of the inning.
That's a great play by Bree Normandin at short. The sophomore has been solid, and good base running on the other side of things for Duke. This one drilled by Malau-Ulu. Normandin picks it on the short hop, puts a knee down, checks the runners, and gets it out at first base. Nice job by the sophomore.
That's not an easy play at all.
And just knowing where your speed is, knowing the priority of who you're going to check first. Of course, the runner at third base who might break on a ground ball, which I'm actually a little surprised Duke didn't put in. I think a ball hit that hard. I like the decision there by Leah Terrell to hold. But a lot of times when you see second and third, less than 2 outs, you're reading contact down and you're taking off because you have Deanna Jennings who will come to third base, and you have confidence in your runner who makes it to first to make it to second at one point in the at-bat. I think it's the top of the 8th in Game 3 of today.
What an awesome game we've been treated to, though, tonight. Elimination game. Your season ends if you lose. You advance to the regional final tomorrow against Georgia if you win. Mina Vega with a foul ball straight back, 2-2. That game starts at 2:30 Eastern tomorrow. Georgia against the winner of this one. Whoever comes out of this extra inning marathon game will have to beat Georgia twice tomorrow in order to punch a ticket to the Super Regionals, whereas the Bulldogs only have to win 1. Vega rolls another one foul on the third base side.
Yeah, Noah, do you remember when Amina Vega hit a home run in the first inning?
3 hours ago, yeah.
When the sun was still up. Yeah, but what a ball game. I mean, both of these teams leaving every ounce of effort onto the field.
That's inside to Vega. She earns the walk, and bases are loaded again for Duke with only one out.
And who but Anna Gold, the senior, who's been kept at bay, 0 for 4 on the day, but an opportunity to wipe all of that away with one swing of the bat for this Duke team.
Already a 4-run lead, an opportunity to really blow this game open in the 8th. Pacone, the ace, who's thrown the 3rd most innings in the country by any pitcher, against one of the batters, one of the best batters in the country, in Anna Gold.
And Pacone, so much tenacity, keeps peppering Anna Gold in with the curveball. The confidence that the senior has in that pitch is really impressive, because if you miss middle, Anna Gold will punish the softball.
Anna Gold, line drive into center field. Duke adds a 5th run in the inning to take a 13-8 lead.
Oh for 4 in the night, but 1 for 1 in extras. And watch this softball knuckle off the bat of Anna Gold. Watch Deanna Jennings. Had to avoid the shot there. Unable to score on a ball like that. Typically, Deanna Jennings will make her way around as Nicolette Pacone, the senior, walks off to an ovation from this crowd. What an effort.
This team that has lived and died with Nicolette Pacone in the circle. Coach Kelly Green told us, we will ride her arm until she cannot go any longer. And they certainly did that tonight in an elimination game against the #1 seed in Duke. An emotional moment for a pitcher that has meant so much to this Coastal Carolina program. They most certainly don't get to this spot in a regional without her.
No, certainly not. And this is going to be an emotional night no matter which direction it goes, but that woman there, Nicolette Pacone, left everything on the field.
The nation's leader in wins this season, 2nd most complete games, the 3rd most innings in the country. She exits the game with her team down 13-8 in an elimination game in extra innings, where the winner moves on to the regional final tomorrow at 2:30 against Georgia, who beat Coastal Carolina yesterday and beat Duke today.
Yeah, and it's the freshman, McKenna Metzger, who has had a wonderful night at the plate in the box, but can obviously do it all. Steps into the circle, has been a leader for this team offensively, but now looks to lead this team from the circle. And her team will need her. Top of the 8th, 1 out, bases juice for Kyrie Rodriguez, who started this inning.
The 10th batter to the plate in an inning where Duke has scored 5 runs with the bases loaded. McKenna Metzger, who has done everything at the plate tonight for Coastal Carolina, being asked to come in and get 2 more outs in this 8th inning.
Yeah, looking at the numbers, not a ton of sample size for Metzger, the freshman. I think she's been focused predominantly on hitting for good reason. 19 innings pitched on the year for the freshman. ERA a bit inflated, but again, not a ton of sample size to work with. But for now, 3-0, the count to Kyrie Rodriguez has to fill up the zone.
It doesn't, and they walk in a run. Duke's 6th run of the 8th inning.
Yeah, and the score, if it stands as it is after this 8th inning, does not tell the full story. I mean, Coastal was 1 swing away in the bottom half of the 7th inning from winning this ball game. And so a little bit of a taller mountain to climb, but if there's an offense that can do it in the bottom half of the 8th, it is the Coastal Carolina offense.
Game just went final moments ago in Baton Rouge. LSU, the 1 seed, the number 10 overall national seed, has been knocked out of their regional by the 4 seed Southeastern Louisiana.
Wow.
Both of LSU's losses coming to the 4 seed. Got beat last night by 1 run by Southeastern, got beat tonight by 1 run by Southeastern.
Absolute heartbreak for that LSU team and how much talent they had, but how about Southeastern? That game last night was so much fun to watch.
That's not your typical 4 seed,
no,
by the way.
No, absolutely not. I mean, Florida State had to walk them off. Texas A&M had to walk off Southeastern. Nebraska really showed up well today. Jordy Ball has hit a home run in every single official at bat in that regional. And I think they run ruled Southeastern, if I'm not mistaken.
14-1.
Yeah, we've been, doing this all day. Otherwise, we'd be watching. But sets up the rematch tomorrow.
Mathis bounces one up the middle. Normandin flips to second. They get 1 out. Duke will trade that for another insurance run, their 7th of this 8th inning.
Gosh, what an inning. I did not anticipate this. I don't think anyone here at the ballpark did. A handful of errors, a few clutch hits for Duke. And I think Nicolette Picone just ran out of gas.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the innings pitched throughout the season, 236.
That was entering the regional.
Was entering the regional, so 240 plus for the senior, and I think she just ran out of gas. And credit this Duke offense, though, for making adjustments as they score another there.
That's Anna Gold, who comes in to score after the ball gets past Maddie Jennings, the catcher, and make it an 8-run 8th inning for Duke.
Yeah, and there we see Nicolette Picone grabbing a well-deserved drink of water after the effort she put in tonight.
Running out of gas is exactly what it was. She threw all 28 innings of the Sun Belt Conference turn seed in the tournament. 4 wins in 4 days to punch the automatic berth to a regional. Payne bounces over to third, and it's a foul ball. Come here to the regional. They lose yesterday to Georgia in the opening game. Beat Howard in an elimination game today and absolutely had the top seed Duke on the ropes, sending this game to extra innings before the Blue Devils erupted for 8 runs in the top of this inning. Flared to second, Vega flips to first. There is 1 down. Capital One rewarding performance tonight. Tessa Malualu with a bases clearing double in the 4th inning.
Yeah, and it was a big inning for Duke, not only with the 5 spot, but because Coastal had scored 5 runs in the bottom half of the 3rd, taking the lead, and then Duke came right back at it in the 4th, capped off by the double by Tessa Malualu, who's been phenomenal tonight on both sides of the softball. Aggressive base running, that big double, but also has been really solid at the hot corner for this Duke team and has been a leader for this ball club all year long, but also tonight.
Malualu with a 2-hit day. None bigger than that bases clearing double all the way back in the 4th. This is Hope McDonald, the pinch hitter for Coastal Carolina. Way out in front of the off speed. It's 1-1. High chopper over to first. Baker gathers, steps on the bag. Duke is 1 out away from a regional final appearance.
Yeah, and what a ball game. I mean, it's not over until it's over, but for the Duke faithful, I think there were moments where there was a lot of crossed arms, there was a lot of frowns in the stands, not even just in the stands, but across the field as well. So for them, with their backs against the wall, to respond the way they have, Marissa Young and her crew have got to feel good about going into tomorrow. And then on the other side of things, of course, for this Coastal Carolina ball club, What a job by this program this year, and the seniors, they have certainly left their mark.
Libby Pippin, ground ball, shortstop on a Gold onto first, and that does it. An 8-run eruption in the top of the 8th for Duke, and the Blue Devils win it 6-8 and earn a rematch with Georgia tomorrow in the regional final.
A big win for Duke. I mean, a swing away, a wild pitch away from their season being over. They trailed in this game and they fought back. Marissa Young told us ahead of this regional, we have seen hard, we have been resilient. When we face adversity here this weekend, we will be ready. And they were ready for the adversity